Good morning, YouTube. And indeed, it is morning. It is about 10 to 1. This is kind of my normal editing hour, to be honest with you. Anyway, the reason I'm here not on a bike is obviously because I'm editing, but the video I'm editing today or tonight is a bit of a revisit to the video I did some time ago, a little while back, when I went down to Bournemouth Uni to take part in some research with DocBike, which is a charity that's looking to sort of research and ultimately reduce the number of sort of motorcycle accidents on the road. So when I went down there, I took part in this sort of eye tracking experiment. Since then, I touched bases with Shel again for a bit of an interview / informal chat. And I thought it might, I don't know, it might be of interest to some of you guys. I'm going to cut it down because we got chatting for quite a while, which isn't going to be very exciting for most of you. But I'll try and sort of maybe include some highlights. So yeah, anyway, here you go, and I hope you enjoy.
Say interview, it's kind of semi-structured. Some of the questions, they're just quite loose, so just, it's not mastermind, it's not grilling.
Cool.
Do you think there are changes in hazards according to road type? So that is like motorways versus urban roads versus rural roads, dual carriageways, that sort of thing.
Definitely, yeah. Like there's a massive difference between like country riding and you've got like maybe loads of debris in the middle of the road. So stuff like that you're maybe less likely to get somewhere like a motorway. But then again, motorways obviously like high speed. Yeah, you don't have a lot of time maybe to adjust as maybe on a slower road, like a country road, you're not going so fast, obviously. But then again, like motorways tend to be like straight, you can see a bit further in front. I guess urban roads have their own sort of set of hazards like pedestrians and other motorists, doors opening from parked cars and stuff like that as well.
What do you believe are risk-taking behaviours on a motorcycle?
Things like risky overtakes, speed and sort of just crazy decisions, or maybe like quick decisions or sort of impulse decisions, something that you've not planned ahead.
So do you think motorcyclists are more risky by nature, say in comparison to car drivers?
No, I don't think they all are. So there might be some that are, you know, they exist too. But yeah, I don't think so.
Right. Do you think motorcyclists make unnecessary risks? And if so, can you describe a situation where a motorcyclist may take an unnecessary risk?
I have seen that. Again, it's overtaken. I don't know why I keep thinking of that. If there is a car come the other way and it's super close and you just think you wouldn't have done that, or on a corner or on a bend, and you're like, I know that you couldn't see around that because I can't either. I haven't seen it when I'm riding in a group, maybe because I don't do that very often. But yeah, generally I'm in a car and somebody's like shooting past traffic. So I think sometimes they do, but then maybe that's just like a lapse in judgment. Like that doesn't necessarily mean they constantly make these really risky decisions. We've all like made decisions, and like I said before, after the fact you think, oh, maybe I shouldn't have done that, but you've already done it and everybody's seen you, so they're probably judging you thinking, oh, that crazy biker, but actually that's not really representative of you.
Maybe there's this attitude as I can, so I will as well.
Exactly. It is that knowledge, I guess, that yeah, we accelerate, we do everything quicker and we're smaller. So I guess you do get away with more than cars do.
Have you ever had a near miss or accident or a collision while riding your motorcycle? And if you have, are you happy to tell me about it?
There was one time I was like super new to the Rebel, like my first bigger bike anyway. And I was like trying to keep up with my other half who was on like an 800, I think, Tiger. And so he just did some overtake, whatever. And I watched him do it. And I was like, well, if he can do it, then I could probably do it. But there was a car coming the other way. So I cut it a little bit fine because my Rebel doesn't have quite the same uptake as other bikes. So I cut that a bit fine. So the other one that I thought of was, again, it always happens when I'm like trying to follow somebody, because I think that's quite dangerous really on a bike. And so I was following my other half and I saw this bike go into the right hand lane to turn right, and I thought it was him. I was obviously very tired. I thought it was him. It blatantly wasn't him because it was some guy on like a red sports bike. So I pulled into the right hand lane behind him, and then I realized, oh no, my other half's in the left hand lane. He went straight on. So I whacked on the indicator, started to go left, and then I realized there's a massive truck coming past me on the left. Ooh. Yeah, but I was already sort of committed to the lane, so I basically filtered down and I was quite close to the truck. I got a beep from the truck, which is not a surprise. I mean, I was able to get out of his way quickly because I was on a bike, but that was quite horrible.
That's the sort of one when you can almost see the back of the ambulance, isn't it? You know, imagine yourself in the ambulance. What's really interesting is also you said that you find it dangerous to ride with other people, and or it's not a good sort of mindset. And actually that really leads on well to my next question, which is, if you ride with friends or groups of motorcyclists, can you tell me how you ride when you're with them?
It depends who it is. If it's a big group, I don't do that very often, but I find big groups tend to be a bit slower pace. And I think there's risk in bigger groups too, because then you're always sort of like worried where other people are, and if you get split up, there's the pressure to find them again. I don't like people behind me, which is why I'm always following him, not the other way around, because again I just feel that pressure. I'm like, oh my god, they're judging me, they want me to get around this car, they're judging me because I didn't stop very well or whatever.
It's not really something I've asked the guys, but with the girls, sort of saying similar things as group riding and feeling judged, and is this invariably mostly males that are in that group, so you're feeling judged by males?
It is, but I don't know if it's because they're men that I feel judged, or whether it's just that they happen to be men. And I've ridden with like a group of girls, Shel car, like last year, I think. And I felt
you managed to find more than one.
I know, I didn't organise it because I would have failed. But apparently there's a few riders in Bristol that are female. I did that. I didn't feel the same pressure as I do with men, but I didn't really realise that. I don't go out with a group of men and think, oh my god, I hate them because they're men. But yeah, I did feel slightly more relaxed with the women for some reason, even though they were like amazing riders and stuff, just as good obviously as men, and obviously just as capable of judging me, isn't it? I felt slightly more relaxed, but I still was a bit wary that they were still judging me.
How long have you been riding for?
I've had my big bike. I bought my Rebel about nearly to the month, 3 years ago. Yeah.
So do you think that maybe some of this feeling of judgment is actually because you sort of semi-inexperienced still?
Yeah,
versus like these gents on BMWs that have been
yeah,
riding for 30 years and so on?
yeah, it is. Yeah, and I'm just generally more confident myself when I'm by myself. But when I'm with other people, I'm second guessing myself.
What's your favourite road to ride and why?
The A39 again on Exmoor. I don't like it up until Exmoor because there's loads of double white lines and it's just so slow. But when it's on Exmoor, I like it because you can speed up a little bit. But I guess mainly because of the views, it's just stunning. I'm constantly looking around. I'm not even going that fast really. Like cars behind me want to go faster than me, but I'm just looking at the views. I'm sure I'll think of other ones.
Just the sort of road that you're explaining to me, if you ever head to Wales, then there's a road called the A483, and it's like from Raider to Newtown, I think it is.
Yeah.
That stretch there is absolutely wonderful for this sort of fast sweeping bend.
And there have been some amazing roads up in like the Yorkshire Dale, somewhere in Yorkshire. Yorkshire's massive, but because they go through moorland. I just love roads on moorland because you can go kind of quick. The corners are sweepy, exactly what I just said, really. And because like the moorlands, like they don't have loads of trees everywhere. There's good visibility around the bends.
If I can just sort of encapsulate that a bit, then it's that sort of sweeping bend technical aspect is what you like about that particular road. You've got good visibility because you don't have high hedges and things like that, but actually that visibility also aids just seeing the scenery, doesn't it?
Exactly, that's all part of it. Oh, another amazing road was just off of Loch Ness in Scotland. It's an A road, I can't remember what it's called. Maybe it's called it's not the Old Military Road. I don't know. It's an A road off of Loch Ness. Again, same thing, stunning scenery. You could go so fast on it if you want to, because just the same reasons. I just love those roads. So and the scenery was like amazing. The mountains were so huge, but they're in the distance, so they didn't block your vision. Yeah, that was nice.
Yeah, Scotland is just stunning, isn't it?
It is.
It's a different world up there. Do you know the Weymouth to West Bay Road? It's called the B3157.
I think is that the one that I did after I, like you would know, after I left you in Bournemouth?
I think you did it from Weymouth to. Can you remember it?
I did too. I remember the road that I think it is. I remember it. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Can you tell me why you think there's a lot of motorcycle crashes and collisions along that road, especially as it's 50 mile an hour, and some of the crashes and collisions don't have speed at fault?
I don't remember like the signs, but maybe some of the bends and corners catch people out a bit. If they're anything like me, they're just constantly looking at the views.
Yeah.
So anything could happen in front of them or to the side, you know?
It's a beautiful road, is that what you're saying? Or all the views are beautiful on that road?
Exactly. When you asked about how my vision works, what I really should have said is I'm constantly scanning the land as well. So looking at scenery, but I shouldn't admit to that. So.
No, it's fine. Do admit to that. I mean, all right, I'll admit to the fact that I'm a bit of a twitcher, and I find myself, and I'm riding along, and I look up. Is it a buzzard? Is it a kite?
Like I cut it out of all of our videos because I'm convinced other people don't do it. So it's quite nice to hear people do.
Oh no, it's. I've only interviewed number 17, 18. Pretty much everyone is saying a very similar story.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Especially the kites, because I always thought they're so rare. But then I just started seeing loads of them.
Have you heard of the Elan Valley?
Yeah, I've done it once before, and
you've done it
again in May. Yeah, it's been so good.
Because I must admit that there's something about that place that is magical, isn't it?
It's so pretty.
And I found myself very much sort of riding along, but like that.
I also found when I did it before, the cars were actually quite considerate. Like they'd pull over and let us pass and stuff. They obviously know it's like a bike haven, so that's quite nice. Yeah.
And actually, the roads are so narrow that you're not going to try and squeeze through, you know. And I dare say most of them are locals. Okay, right. Last question. Motorcycling. It is a reasonably hazardous activity, especially with regards to number of killed or serious injury statistics compared with any other road user. Consequently, why do you choose to ride despite the danger?
Because this is also cliche, but you're out in your environment. You're not boxed in a car, so you can feel as much as you can through your gear. You can feel your environment, you can smell it, it's almost like you're part of it. It's such a hippie thing to say, but you're almost part of the environment and you're not boxed off. I absolutely adore that.
But you could do that with a push bike, couldn't you?
Yeah, but I don't like cycling.
Okay. That's fair enough.
And also sometimes you just get this, or I just get this moment, and it doesn't happen that often, but you just click and it's almost like the bike is part of you. That's such a cliche thing to say as well. I love it. I also really love the physicality of it without cycling. It's so physical, and I kind of like that. It's almost like you have superpowers. It feels like it's just you going fast. It's not you on a bike. It's not you on a machine. It's just you going fast and leaning sometimes into corners and stuff. And it's like having a superpower. It's really good fun.